thought this was a really important moment for Maker's Mark. And when I think about the founders, my grandparents, Bill and Margie Samuels, when they settled here 70 years ago, they had a new idea for what bourbon could be. And for those of you that haven't spent as much time with us at the distillery as some of our team members, in many ways, the future of bourbon and the vision for what led to become Maker's Mark started in this copper bucket. Because after our family had, the Samuels, my ancestors, had produced pretty mediocre whiskey for about 160 years, my grandparents had the vision and the courage to break from tradition. And when they settled here, they paid $35,000 in 1952 for several hundred acres. And I tease people when they come see us from out of state, especially when you're making the drive in from Louisville or Lexington, most everyone always has in their mind, who in the hell would ever build a distillery in such a rural environment? I mean, we're the most difficult distillery in 2023 to get to, but there was purpose behind choosing this location. And even today, when you talk to the most sophisticated whiskey consumers, retail partners, journalists, so many of the conversations about whiskey and what makes whiskey and bourbon different from different brands, a lot of the conversations are around manufacturing process. What's your still design? What's the fermenter, the batch size? And of course, all of those things matter. But 70 years ago, my grandparents were thinking differently about bourbon, and they fundamentally understood and appreciated that the bourbon in your glass comes from nature. And they chose this site because of the water source, which we own. We own all of the watershed. So in many ways, and I know the Makers team is just as happy and honored that I am to be here with all of you together on Giving Tuesday to celebrate that we will fill the very first Regenified certified barrel of Maker's Mark. And let's So I'm going to come back and I want to make sure we recognize the extended Maker's Mark family, but would love to have Luke from Understanding Ag come up and share with all of us how Understanding Ag is partnering not just with Maker's Mark, which the distillery here is a national historic landmark, but this distillery sits on a 1,300-acre working farm, which is Regenified certified, by the way. And would love to have Luke share with us all a little bit about Understanding Ag and the partnership that we are building with our 26 partner growers here in Central Kentucky.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to this event. This is a very special event. As Rob said, my name is Luke Jones. I'm a consultant for Understanding Ag. We work across all 50 states, Canada, Mexico, and we're now in the UK, and growing globally. We are very active, and on behalf of Understanding Ag, who is the former partners, Alan Williams, Gabe Brown, Shane Doon, Kathy Richburg, it's definitely an honor to be here. So when we got involved with this whole event, it was eye-opening, that the power and the potential this had. I used to work in ag retail, and I'm now a farm and ranch myself back home. So this all hits home with me. I can relate to people that were, moving down this path. And regenerative ag. A lot of people say, well, what is regenerative ag? And we define it as farming and ranching in synchrony with nature to repair, rebuild, restore, and revitalize the four ecosystem functions, starting with life in the soil and moving to all life above the soil. And that's very encompassing as far as what we're trying to do here. We feel that agriculture has an impact on everyone's life, from water quality, how we can improve the overall water quality within our rural economies, and globally. It can improve nutrient density of food. We've seen that through improving the biological function of soil. So working with these growers around here, the big congratulations goes to the producers that are delivering to Maker's Mark. This is a step in a kind of uncharted territories. It's not new. It's not a new way of farming, but it's kind of an uneasy way of farming because it's now a thinking game and farming more biologically. So we, as Understanding Ag, as consultants, we step in and try to help limit the risk, limit the burden of stepping down this path. With companies like Maker's Mark, who set their vision with setting their stake in regenerative ag, it is our job to kind of help guide these growers down the path, and we do so gladly, and we do so for the better of your guys' local community because it hits home for us too. So with that, congratulations to Maker's Mark on this event. Congratulations to the producers for taking this next step in bettering your ecosystem and bettering your local economy. Congratulations to the consumers, as now they're going to be able to have a better quality product in the future here. So if we can improve water quality, nutrient density for the better of tomorrow, and have a better drink of bourbon at the end of the day, I'll drink to that all the time. So thank you for having me here. Appreciate you.
Hello everybody. Well, firstly, let me thank Rob Samuels and the entire Maker's Mark team for hosting us today for this historic ceremony, not only to celebrate whiskey as an agricultural product, but also to recognize the farmers and the farm community that have made not only the commitment, but also demonstrative progress towards embracing regeneration. I'm Salar Shemerani, I'm the CEO of Regenified. At Regenified, we champion regenerative agriculture worldwide. Since we started our verification with Maker's Mark, we've witnessed profound commitment, not only to local landscapes by Maker's Mark and Beam Suntory, but also at global scale. At Regenified, we require annual verification for all the core ingredients that cultivate the bourbon at Maker's Mark, and that's corn and wheat. And I'm pleased to say that through our good underground science-backed verification, those acres, which are about 45,000 acre plus from this very vicinity, have been certified Regenified. I'm going to be honest with you. Regenerative agriculture and the transition towards it is not easy. It requires effort. It requires commitment. Transitioning, learning, challenging one another. It's not only essential for us to restore our connection back to nature, but it also is critical to enable farmer profitability, vitality, and also help our ecosystem restore their impacts. Amidst my interactions at global beverage and food expos, regenerative agriculture has emerged as a buzzword. And it's interesting to see many brands dedicate a small portion of their supply chain to regenerative agriculture. But here we are today celebrating Maker's Mark for their unwavering commitment to regenerative agriculture. They stand today as the first whiskey brand to commit their entire supply chain to regenerative ag. And doing so with remarkable progress. Proof is in the pudding, folks. And doing so in record time. I think that's only propelled by the visionary founders of Maker's Mark and the generations that upheld that legacy. But also to farming communities of Maker's Mark, who set a great example that the world should take a note of. Well, I'm here to say that Kentucky should be proud. Well, we have done a verification last year at a Star Hill farm. And the Star Hill farm was announced as a Tier 2 certified Regenified operation. As part of our annual verification, we performed our Year 2 verification, and I'm pleased to say, again, credit to Brian Mazzini and the entire farm team and Suntory as well as Maker's Mark team. Star Hill Farm is now Tier 3 certified. Not only on your crop operation, but also on your beef, lamb, orchards, vegetables, production as well. So again, congratulations and thank you again for being with us today.
When you think about the community that has partnered and supported the vision of Maker's Mark since day one. We wouldn't be where we are today were it not for the partner growers here in this community. All of our corn, all of our wheat is grown within about a 30-mile radius. And I would be so very honored if Mr. Peterson, if you and Ronnie Mattingly would join me here on the steps of the distillery, just so you can help us fill the very first Certified Regenified barrel, and just know how grateful we are for your commitment to regenerative agriculture and more flavor through regenerative farming. Would also like to recognize both Regenified and Understanding Ag. If you haven't seen the film, documentary film, Kiss the Ground, Gabe Brown, who's prominently featured as a leader in regenerative agriculture, has been a massive inspiration for Brian Mattingly, our team here at the distillery. Gabe recently had a surgery, so he couldn't be here with us today, but would love to have Salar, you and the Understanding Ag folks join us up here and help us fill a little bit of this first barrel as well. Would like now for some of the Maker's Mark team members. This is my grandparents started here in 1953 with 11 team members. Today we have 320 team members, and I know that each and every one of our team members lives the founder's vision every single day, and would love to have Brian Mattingly, who is our farm manager. Brian has been endlessly curious in helping us better understand where flavor truly comes from within agriculture, and taking it back to nature and quickly getting to the ethics of it all. So Brian, why don't you come up here? Blake is our head of innovation. Director of Star Hill Farm. Blake is our head of innovation and quality here at Maker's Mark. Kim Harmon, general manager for the distillery, and Valerie, who has been tireless in her commitment of helping us get to this very important day for the Makers team. Frank, I think everybody up here needs a glass of whiskey. Pretty please. On behalf of the Maker's Mark team members, just couldn't thank you all enough for the partnership, the partner growers. We thank you for your commitment for the last many decades and into the future, committing to the importance of regenerative farming, and would love to raise a glass, because I know my grandparents, if they were here today, they would be so very proud of what this leadership moment means, not just to Maker's Mark, but for the future of our industry, Kentucky, and beyond. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. Stand back.